Hello everyone, and hello everyone. Welcome to this new version of my stream on Fedora infrastructure applications and how to contribute to them. All right, as always, I will start with a selection of applications that I could be fixing a bug in. So I'll be starting with this easy fix page where we have all the applications that have labeled some tickets as easy fixes. Well, it can be easy fix, it can be a good first issue depending on the tracker you're in. But what I'm going to be focusing on is the Fedora infrastructure applications because that's what I know. And on top of that, I'll only be selecting from a short list of applications because I don't know all of them, and there are some that are more relevant to this than others. For example, in the past, I have done two streams where I have selected Noggin as the application, and I'm going to try to not do that this time. This time we're going to work on something else. So, what are my options? I will go to the Fedora Infra Applications list. Very well. What do I have here? So I could be looking at data grepper, for example. This 537 issue there is already somebody working on it, so I'm not going to select that one. Add a link to the list of available messages. That's a very simple fix, just HTML in a footer, nothing dynamic, so I'm going to skip that. This one here, somebody's already working on it. It's Lenka, and apparently this extraction is wrong here. So I'm going to change the templates later on. Anyway, that's not the subject for this time. There are some interesting things that we could do with Fedora messaging. There are two issues here that relate to how the project management, well, how the project is handled, I would say more or less. So Renovate is a tool that is going to propose you pull requests when there is an update to your dependencies. Very useful. We used to use Dependabot before, and we've migrated to Renovate. Well, to be honest, we're in the process of migrating to Renovate. And Fedora messaging hasn't been migrated yet. Is there somebody in my chat room already? Yeah, I see some familiar names in the chat room. So cool. Hello everybody. Feel free to chime in. I'm not doing this to just record a video. The point for it is to be interactive. So feel free to ask questions or make comments or do things in the chat, and I'll be happy to check it out and try to answer you. Hey Lenka, how are you doing? So, hey, hello everybody. I don't think I know you, huge machine, but yeah, welcome to this stream. I have written, so in the past I did like two streams before. Hey, and hey Cyberg, and since there aren't so many people in the chat, I usually missed the notifications that were there because Twitch doesn't send me any notification when there's somebody posts in the chat. I think it's designed for people who have hundreds of people in their chat room, which is not my case yet. And so I was missing messages in the chat, and since I'm always focused on one screen, I usually don't look at the other one. So I thought, yeah, I should have something notify me when somebody posts in the chat. So I wrote a small program in Python that connects to the Twitch API and makes a sound each time there is somebody posts a message in the chat, and I have no idea whether you're hearing it or not. I think you should not be hearing it, but if somebody posts a message in the chat, I might be able to notice that you're hearing the very distinctive sound that it makes. It makes a quack. So if you hear a duck quacking, that means that somebody has posted something in the channel, and I haven't really rerouted the audio as I thought I had. Anyway, let's not focus about that this time. There's Fedora messaging. We could check out how to use Renovate. That will be purely in GitHub plus a small file in the repo, or to migrate to Poetry. Poetry is a system that manages your Python dependencies for you. You list the dependencies, and it will make a lock file locking them to the versions that you have tested it with. And it's very practical. It handles development dependencies as well. It's very useful, and we've started to use it all across the Fedora applications, and it's really cool. But Fedora messaging hasn't been ported to it yet, so there's that. I hope the sound is okay. By the way, the first stream I had misset the sound was not correct, so hopefully that's better. And I think there was something else that I needed to set in the Twitch configuration, but I think that's going to be, yeah. If it's all good, and if you don't experience too much delay between when the message is posted in the chat and when I reply, it should be okay. All right, that's for Fedora messaging. Let me go next. Then we have FMN. So in FMN, there is some sort of usability issue that has been reported. When you create a rule, it's very easy to go back to the main page without actually saving the rule, because there is a save button, but it's in a corner, and so it's easy to miss it. And there you have clicked many buttons in between, so maybe you thought it was all saved, and it's not. So there is something that we could do in FMN to fix that. And there are also another issue. We could add footer to the email notifications so that people know how to get back to FMN if the notification either isn't correct or there is too many of them and they want to curate their rules and filter them so they get less notifications. Well, it's always useful to have a footer in the email. So that's the second thing. That's also a usability issue. And cancel button as well. All right, so there's a couple of them in FMN. And so I've prepared a poll that you will be able to vote in. The link I'm going to post in, of course I shouldn't be clicking on it. I should be sending you the link instead of clicking on it. And I'm going to post that in the chat. Did you hear a quack? Hopefully you didn't hear a quack. So here's the link. Feel free to go and vote for what you think I should be working on. So there's 4 options. One is the Fedora messaging upgrade of the Meta project management tools. And you did hear the quack. Okay. Yeah. All right. There is a delay, indeed. I am replying to your message automatic right as I saw it appear in the chat room. So there might be a delay here. First, I'm going to configure the sound just to go to my earphones, not to the whole thing. Just a minute as I twiddle with Pulse Audio. Oh yeah, that's not the GNOME settings. That's not where you set it. It's in Pulse Audio settings. Okay. Play. Yeah. Yep. Lots of quacking. Okay. If it's annoying, I'll remove it, but I find that pretty useful. So you hear the quacks. Okay. Uh, so I think I wrote that wrong. Well, first, what I'm going to do is remove the sound from the desktop in my streaming application, and that's going to be enough, I think. So you don't hear the quacks anymore. You will not hear my desktop sounds as well, but I guess that's not a problem. I have reduced the volume so you don't, because in my ears it's very loud. The quack is like very loud. Anyway, um, so it's better than last time because last time I was on a very poor internet connection, and there was so I was in a remote countryside in France, and that I think that was the cause of the issue. This time I have my very good fiber optic connection that I'm connected to with an RJ45 cable, Ethernet cable, so everything should be okay in that regard. Um, all right, so that's it. I don't know if you have. Hmm. I don't know if you have voted for the. If anybody has voted for it yet. I don't see any vote. All right. If you have a preference, then go ahead. And if you do not have a preference, then I'm probably going to be working on FMN. And I think I should go with. Huh. So if we go with FMN, we have two options. Well, two main options. One is do Python. The other one is TypeScript. TypeScript is the language that the UI is written in, and if I want to work on the UX, then I'm going to have to do some TypeScript. If I want to work on Python, then the most interesting one I think will be checking out the consumer. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the consumer issue. That's the last one. 826. 826 is having the consumer handle a user being disabled in IPA. So in our account, I would say in our account database, when you disable someone, it's not automatically disabled in FMN, and I think it should be, because if we disable someone, we don't want to be sending them notifications. Or if the person disables themselves, then they don't want to receive notifications anymore. That makes sense. So that's probably something that should be fixed, and it will be involving the consumer, and the consumer is written in Python. All right. Do we have votes yet? Aha, there is a wild quack person who has voted for the consumer. I will give you 30 more seconds, and if nobody has any preferences, then we'll go with the consumer. That gives me enough time to drink some tea. Today's tea is this nice one. It's white tea with that's the words in French. How do you say Mirabelle in English? That's a very good question. Mirabelle is a fruit that kind of looks like a peach. Let me try that. Why is it this? It's called Mirabelle plum. Oh, that was easy. Okay, so white tea with Mirabelle and heather. I didn't know it was called that way. It's a white plant. Okay, that's a tea that I picked up in Brittany, in France, and it's pretty good. All right, let us go back to development now. If there are no more votes, I will go with the consumer. All right, consumer it is. Okay, let's start with FMN then. First time we are working on FMN, so I will start my development environment. I usually write code in Visual Studio Code. Oh, good thing, we're already on FMN. So if I wanted to, let me close all the windows. If I wanted to actually demo properly how to work on FMN, I should not start with this extraction that already exists. I will go with a clean one. All right, let us do that. Let's close that for now. Let us. Yeah, well, heather is. I don't think there is a ton of it actually, but it gives a nice taste. So the question from Leica was about heather being drinkable, and well, it's not the first time I tried this tea, and I'm still alive. So I guess that counts. Let us try. Yeah, okay. That's my terminal. Of course, you don't see anything in there, but I will create a new window with fonts that are more appropriate for streaming. That should be much better. Okay. I currently have my extraction of FMN in the FMN directory. I'm going to save that for later. And I'm going to create a new one. All right, how do I contribute to FMN? First thing, go to the FMN website. And for that, I'm going to go to FMN, well, notifications, notifications.federaproject.org. That is where FMN is running. That is our notification system. And here we have the link to the source code. All right, well, it's a link to opening a new issue actually, but let's just go back to the source code right here. Okay, let us check it out. Okay. I know that. Sorry, that's not the right. I know that Visual Studio Code should be able to do that by itself, like do a Git extraction. But I'm very used to manipulating Git on the command line, so I usually do the Git things on the command line because I know what's going on and it doesn't hide me the output. So that's what I usually do. Okay, so I now have a fresh extraction of FMN right here. How do I contribute to that? Well, first I will try to get it running, right? Is this gonna work? It might be. It might be. Because the development environment are usually based on Vagrant. So Vagrant starts up a VM or multiple VMs and installs the program in the VM, and then we have a running version. And I'm going to try and do that, even though it might be conflicting with the existing. Yeah, you know what? I am going to not do that. Like, if I was starting from scratch, I would do a Vagrant up, and it will configure the virtual machine and run an Ansible playbook that sets it up entirely for development. Let us assume that it works. Sorry. And I'm going to use my existing FMN directory. The reason is that otherwise there is a chance that the VMs are going to be conflicting with one another, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to call Vagrant up right here. As many of our applications these days in the Fedora infrastructure, the Vagrant environment depends on TinyStage. TinyStage is a set of Vagrant VMs that run just the basis of a staging environment so that you can work on it. For example, it has Epsilon as the OIDC provider. It has IPA as the user database. It has Noggin. It has FastJSON. It has a few apps that you usually need if you want to hack on an application that has authentication. And that's also the case for FMN. So right now it should be the Vagrant machine is up, and FMN is not running directly afterwards because the starting the service depends on the mount point being up. You see mounting folder via SSHFS, and if this mount point isn't up, then the code is not visible inside the VM, and of course the services fail. So let us start those. Do I need the front end? Because I'm going to be working on the consumer. I don't really need the front end. Let's not start it. Let's start the consumer instead, right? Okay. Let's look at the logs. So this command is going to look at the logs from the FMN API service and the other one. Okay, so that fails. So the consumer is failing. It's not starting because it's trying to connect to something that is not running. This something here is it's the RabbitMQ server that should be running in tiny stage, and of course it's not running. I'm going to start it. Since tiny stage has quite a few virtual machines available, let's list them first for now. So it has the IPA VM. IPA is on its own. Auth is the VM that has all the Noggin and Epsilon and FastJSON running. And there is also a tiny stage VM that is currently not running. I'm going to run them all actually. I'm going to run them all, and because I will require a way to get users, I'm going to have to enable and disable a user later on. So I'm going to have to do that in Vagrant. Sorry, I'm going to have to do that using the authentication system. All right, it's starting. It's going to take a little while, not too long, hopefully. And then the consumer is hopefully going to be running. Well, I'll have to restart it, of course, but you know. Okay. Is the API running already? The API seems to be running. The consumer failed. Okay, we're all good. Yeah, you need my sudo password, of course. Of course, feel free to ask me to repeat something if I said it too fast or if it wasn't clear or if my weird French accent is putting you off. So yeah, don't feel free to ask me to repeat anything. It's all good. By the way, Vagrant is a nice piece of code that is written by HashiCorp that has made the headlines recently, well, yesterday, because they are changing their license. So Vagrant itself is going to stop being open source. Of course, people have made a fork as soon as that was announced. So we'll have to think about whether we go with the fork or if we want to switch to something else. But for development, VMs are really practical, much more practical, I find it, than containers, because you can edit the content and just restart services. But maybe I'm too old school. I don't know. All right, so IPA is up, the auth VM is up, and now the tiny stage machine is starting. That's the one that has the RabbitMQ server running, so we'll need that one. Almost there. So Lenka says the issue fix will be done from FMN VM, not tiny stage. Yes, so FMN has its own VM. Tiny stage has a few services running, but it doesn't have FMN. FMN has its own VM, and they are all connected to each other because Vagrant sets up a virtual network. Well, not really a virtual network, but well, yes, there is a separate network that you can see here in the 122 address space, and there is a plugin to Vagrant called Vagrant Host Manager that will distribute a host file. It's running right here. It's going to distribute a host file to all the running VMs and including your own hosts. That's why it's requiring the sudo password, because it changes your etc hosts. So not everyone can do that. All right, let's try to restart it now. All right, it's running now. Let us look at the journal. Blah, blah, blah. Successfully register the consumer. Everything is going fine. Okay, let us say that it's up. So let's reproduce the issue that we're having right now. Okay, I will log in as a user, as a plain user, to my local FMN. It's running. Ah, yeah, that's why I'm going to use. I'm going to have to need the. I'm going to need the front end running. Okay, let's start the front end. FMN front end. Huh. So much coherence. Very good. It's running, and it's running. Ah, there it is. It's running on the port 5173. Of course, it's not localhost. Well done. It's called fmn.tinystage.test, and 5173 is what we said. Nope, it's not. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's probably going to be HTTPS. Yeah, it is. That's why. Yeah, it's running on HTTPS because when we are authenticated, we don't want to be redirecting between HTTP locally, HTTP S10, and back to HTTP. That usually causes issues in browsers that don't quite like that, and understandably. So I'm currently logged in as the William Young user. So, yep, sure, let's do this one. I have a rule. That's all good. And now what I'm going to do is disable this user and try to see. Well, first I'm going to do something that creates a notification for William Young. So for that, I will need to subscribe him or them. Actually, we don't know. Let's create a new rule. How could I trigger a notification for that user? I could, yeah, sure. I could change something in their user profile, for example. So let's create a rule that is going to emit a notification each time I do something. Let's send an email, for example, or send IRC as well, even though it's not running. But yeah, let's keep it here. All the applications, all the severities, do it and create the rule. See, that's the issue that we had before. Somebody reported that creating the rule by clicking this button here is a little too easy to miss, and people might go to notification thinking that it's already saved, and it's not saved. You have to click here to actually create the rule. Undefined field request. I have no idea why my headset turns off. Sometimes it randomly turns off. It's not because it doesn't have any battery anymore, because I charge it all night, and I have no idea. there was a discussion about headsets recently in on the team, and someone said that wired headsets are always better, and yeah, they might have a point. I am currently charging the thing here at the same time as I'm using it, so it should all work, but it's not. Huh, I guess. Um, all right, field required. What is this? That's not normal. Am I doing something wrong? Am I hitting it? Do I have something weird set up? Uh-huh. It's creating a new rule. Okay. Oh, we may be having a bug with this. Well, that's a bit annoying. Posts fail. Blah blah blah. Okay, the response is tracking rule, related events, and params. Field required. So, yeah, okay. Huh. Okay, that's another bug that I need to think about fixing later on. I'm going to use a different one, not my event, but something else. Not artifacts. Started by, and maybe William Young. That's not great, but it's gonna do it. And I need to include my actions because I'm going to probably be doing it myself. Hopefully that's gonna work. Works. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I need to think that I have a bugs to fix later on, but that's fine for now. Okay, so here if I do something. Oh, wait. That's not the only thing that I want here. I will try. I also. Am I going to be allowed to do that? It's fine. It'll do for now. Okay. So let's confirm that I actually get a notification when I do something here, when I do something that should trigger this issue. So I will go to login, I suppose. So that'll be in auth dot tinystage.test/login. Yeah, of course it's a self-signed certificate. Okay, let me log in as William Young again. Oh, right here. The request, blah 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 blah. Not found as a server. What is this? What's wrong with this? Huh. So we're hitting quite a few snags that were unexpected, but let's try to see where that comes from. Let's go to the auth VM that holds Noggin. Okay, and see. What's going on here? Epsilon is unhappy. That's life. Let me try that again. Not found. Huh, it looks like a misconfiguration on Noggin. So Noggin should be taking... Ah, there it is. Okay. It was configured to use the wrong IPA server. We need to fix that later. Anyway, see this very, very secret key right here for development. Okay, let's restart it. I think Noggin is running from Apache, but we'll soon see that. Okay, let's try again. You can guess what the password is. Is it any better now? Or was it just some caching that was the issue? Okay, not good. So it's not that. It should be ipa.tinystage.test. Why is it not working? Okay. What I could do is go to the tinystage VM. Well, go to the IPA VM and see what this 404 error is coming from. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. There's been some changes on tinystage recently, shuffling around the VMs to save the number of VM to have a little less running VMs. Hey, well, that can be good. Apparently IPA is not entirely running. It should be, of course. I don't know why it's not running properly. Okay. I guess Tomcat is pretty important. But I don't think that's actually causing the issue we are having right now. Because it's returning a 404. I'm guessing it has to do with something in Apache probably. tinystage is a set of VMs that is quite long to set up, mostly because of IP actually. IP is quite long to set up. It sets up a ton of things. It does a ton of things, so that makes sense, but still. So I don't want to scratch it and start from new. Each time I do a stream, it will like take 30 minutes only doing that. So I usually keep it running, but it means that it's accumulated quite a bit of craft over the months. Okay, let's look at what Apache has to say to us. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And let's try this again. No? Nothing? Maybe I'm still trying to call. It is possible that the name of the IPS server is cached on the client, because when you have a cluster, we want the client to be always hitting the same one. That could be an issue. Let us check that. IPS session, blah blah blah. Let's just drop my cookies from this site and try again. No, please just start it. Okay. William Young. Aha! Now it works. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think the address to APA was cached in the client, so it was caching the wrong value, obviously. Anyway, what I wanted to do first was change something on my profile and see if it emits a notification for me. How do I check my notifications? Well, I can go check the console here because I should be seeing something. I should be seeing something here on the consumer should be showing something here. Let's try that. See if that works. Okay, my website is example.com. Yeah, all right. Okay. Even example.com deserves HTTPS. There it is, changed. Did it emit something? I am not sure. I don't see anything in the consumer, but it doesn't mean that nothing was emitted. How can I check that a message was emitted? I could go check the Noggin logs. Ah, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, connection established. Not very interesting. Not very interesting. Okay. Is Noggin configured to send messages? I'm not sure. Spam checking. Password expiration. API theme. Okay. Oh, that's weird. It's possible that Noggin doesn't send. Does it send a message? I don't even remember if Noggin sends a message when something is edited. I think it does. I think it does. More than one? Oh yeah, that's plenty. Okay, I guess. No, Noggin will have to be installed, I suppose. Where is it installed? I guess it's in USO local. Yeah. Noggin, okay, it's here. Okay, it does send something, okay, but I suppose there are conditions. Okay, it's doing a publish. When does it do a publish? It's publishing on changes. Yeah, okay, it should be sending something. It should be sending something, except it has to have this enabled. Did we enable it? That's a good question. It's not enabled. Then, well, that's easy then. That's why it's not publishing anything. We should probably enable it. Thank you very much. There you go. Let's restart Noggin. And I think that's going to fail. It's probably going to fail. And you know why? Because Fedora messaging isn't really configured right here. Or is it? Nah, this will be fine. It doesn't have to have a MyQ here or bindings for MyQ. It's all an example. Looks like a very basic example configuration file right here. I'm going to remove that. Consumer config is not something we use, not in Noggin at least. And I'm going to do, well, it's common to the, so that's auth server. And it has, yeah, it's not going to be used because our URL is not HTTPS. It's not MQPS, so it's not going to use the TLS configuration. Let's try. Let's try and see if that works. And I want to see the logs. Thank you. Let's see if I can change something. Is it going to change something to send a message or not? Oh, something has been consumed. See? Successfully consumed message from topic fast user update. All right, that's what was needed. Okay, cool. Just do that. Now that it works, well, I know that I'm receiving notifications when I do something. I'll check if it ends up in my notifications. Where do I see my notifications? Well, first I need to enable a sender. I don't think I have enabled that yet. I need the sender to be configured. It's currently sending to tiny stage test, which has, I think it has an instance that can let me look. 1025. Let's see where that ends up. It's sending email to this tiny stage VM, and I think it has a sync, an email sync, like a program that will accept messages and just store them. Well, how should I do that? .1025, and there is something running on 1025, and that's process 685. 685 is Sandria. All right, we have Sandria running. Okay, cool. And Sandria is also listening on port 8080. Okay, so that's how we know. The tiny stage.test 8080. There it is, the wonderful interface of Sandria. Okay, something here has sent a test. Not very interesting. Okay. Blah blah blah. I could delete all that. Can I delete all of them? That would be nice. I guess I'll just delete them that way. Okay. Is the sender running? I don't think it is. That's why it wasn't sent. Yeah. Okay. It's not running? Or is it? It failed. Okay. Huh. That is weird. No, it is running. Well, it seems to be. Anyway, let's try that again. There we have all the logs. Let's try that again now. I go to my settings and I change something. Something changed. In my logs, I see nothing yet. Hopefully something will happen. What log is this? Oh, that's just IPA. Why do I not get a message while I used to have one just before? something went wrong? Okay, let's try again. Any questions yet, or things I'm doing wrong, or things that could be done much faster? Always ears. I'm always listening for that. Yeah, why didn't it send a message? Do it again. Okay. Did it send something? I don't know. Still nothing on here. That's weird. I've seen a message coming out, so what changed in between? Nothing, I think. Um, yeah, that's not great. I want to emit a notification. What could be going wrong? Okay, so I still haven't fixed or started to fix this issue, and I'm having issues reproducing it, which is a big part of debugging. Being able to reproduce issues is very important. It's just not select stuff. Oh. Okay. Maybe I was filtering wrong and I didn't. Of course! I didn't include the consumer. I wasn't looking at the messages from the consumer service. Sorry about all this wasted time. Okay, now it has been consumed. Good. But has it been converted into a notification? I don't think it has, because I don't see anything in here. So I think that I will start the consumer with more information. Consumer is right here, and I'm going to change the log level. Oh, that's going to be info as well. Info is fine. And I should probably add something. Let's go for debug right here. I should probably add something for FMN itself, no? That will be preferable. Okay, let's restart it. Okay, it's connecting. I have more info coming in. I suppose that's a good thing. Let us try our dummy change again. Ah, I see something coming in. Okay. No information found about affected user. Ah, that is interesting. Okay, so fast.json. So there is something wrong. Like I suppose it's querying fast.json, but it's not finding anything about William Young in fast.json. Why is that? One of the reasons could be that I'm not able to make fast.json queries. Let's try that. Or is it on auth? Forbidden. What about that one? Okay, that's different. I think. Do I have a ticket for that? I should be authenticated already. Yeah, I'm authenticated, so fastjson.tinystage.test slash fastjson slash. What does fastjson say about this? Okay, so that's this error. No auth data means that I'm not authenticated. What about now? Ah, now it works. Okay, I needed to renew my Kerberos ticket. Okay, so I'm authenticated as admin, which means that I can maybe make queries about users. My William Young user. I get something. So it may mean that FMN itself is not able to query fastJSON. So the consumer, that's interesting. I do have a GitHub. That's my host GitHub. Okay. So I'm getting a message that is no information found about affected user. Where does this come from? I know where that comes from. I can look at my code. That's right here. It means that the message body that gets user. Oh yeah, there's just okay. It's not very. Hmm. That's weird. Why would it do that? Message that body that gets user. Oh, it's weird that it's getting this message right here. Because it should be fast. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. And okay, what do I have in my body? Let's do this. Let's log the entire body because why not? And now let's try our minor edit again. Okay, let's see where that goes us, where that takes us. Messages has agent. Oh, it's in a message key. Oh, that is weird. Why is it doing this? Why am I getting it in a message subkey? Is that emitted by Noggin? I'm surprised. Sorry, there could be ways to fix that quickly, but I really would like to know where that comes from because I'm surprised that it even does this. Sorry. Noggin. Hmm. Yeah. Messaging.publish. Yeah, that's. It is in the message subkey. It's in the message subkey. Strange. Which means that it's maybe a bug in FMN's invalidation code. Because it looks at user. you should probably look at that. It should probably look into MSG first. It is not what we are looking for anyway, because that's a bug in the cache invalidation code. Cache invalidation, always fun. But it's not what generates a message for us. I suppose. Do we have an agent right here? Yeah, we do have an agent. And so my question is why do I not generate a notification when that happens? I will go through the consumer code. So what the consumer does is go through all the rules. First, it looks for the cache, okay, and then let's print something more visible. Let's see if it actually is tracked or not, okay? And if it's tracked, then I would like to know if I've created notifications. I need a string here, right here. Okay. So that is good. And now blah 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 blah. It's registering classes, consuming message successfully consumed. Looks like I didn't go through the changes that I made. So it should be doing consume message. And I would like to know if it's tracked. The consumer in FMN is a bit complex because it has a huge performance requirement. The consumer is the instance that is going to get all the message going through all the topics on the bus, and it needs to sort out which one is going to generate a notification or not. So it has a big cache that is basically an index of the properties that we want to look for in a message. Did I restart it? Or did I not restart it? I did not restart it. And we update this cache when yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Yep, somebody's missing a parenthesis. Start again. So we want to update this cache when a rule has been changed, and we want to use that cache. That's why it's calling a isTracked function. That's the function that is going to check in the cache whether we want to examine a message further or we can drop it directly. Blah 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 blah. Okay, things interesting. Oh, yeah, my bad. Okay, so I get something here. Okay, body agent, MSG agent. Okay. Yeah, my bad. The isTracked function right here is asynchronous. And I would like to know what the agent name is. I think that's the criteria that the rule is looking at, but I can check that. My rules, there is a tracking rule, and the one that I've enabled in the UI, let me get back to the UI. The one that I've enabled in the UI is called started by users. That's the tracking rule that is named. I think it's users followed. I think it's users followed. Nice. So it's looking at agent name for a match. Let's just print agent name in that case. Yep, that's exactly what I did. It starts. And look at the content. Okay. Check, 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 check. Okay, things happen very well. And now once we have a setup where we can actually reproduce easily an issue, then it becomes much more simple. Fixing the issue itself is actually much simpler. Okay, so now I see my ticket here. I see that William Young, is the agent name. That is good. That's actually perfect. And it's consumed it. Okay, so well, that's nice, but I wanted to know if I'm tracked or not. Did I get that information? I don't see it. Weird. Huh. What's that? Wait, I should have this. It's awaited. Okay, maybe there's something wrong that in the nested await that I did, but weird. Let's try again. I don't even have to wait for it to start up. I can do the change right now. It's going to end up in the RabbitMQ queue and be processed whenever useful. Oh, that's weird. No, I only see 2 lines out of 3. Where is my last line? No, sorry. Where is my... Or is it crashing right here? Like, that's actually possible. That could actually be a reason why I'm not seeing the 3rd line. It may be crashing and not reporting the crash, which is bad because it wastes your time developing. It will also explain why it's not getting any further. Yep. Okay. Name and service not known. What? Which name or service? I'm sure I didn't. Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I need to run one more VM. We're getting there. FMN has 2 remote service caches. One is FastJSON, and the other one is dist-git, our source repository. We don't want to be querying them all the time, each time there's an incoming message, so we cache them. The problem here is that my source repository was not running and wasn't up, so FMN couldn't query it. Of course, it didn't find it in DNS because it's not up and it's vagrant. All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. It's a bit of an adventure. Fixing bugs sometimes. You go through. It's like going through a jungle with a machete, and you have to cut your way through. Done. Okay. Let us try that again now. See if that's any better. Um. Wait, what? Hmm. Database issue. Hmm. Ah, there it is. Okay. Prime cache. Hmm. That is interesting. Um. Okay. And that is failing. It's failing because I am looking. I think. Hmm. I'm gonna just restart it because um, I might have got a wrong cache when it was not set up properly. Just want to make sure that I'm not chasing a rabbit for nothing. Ah, that's different. All connections attempt failed. Wow. Connect call failed. What is this? Is that the right one? SLC. Oh, maybe I didn't configure it properly. Or did I? No, it should be okay. Uh, connect call failed. So it's not connecting to it. Can I see it? Yeah. Oh, it's not running probably. It may not be running. VM is up, but it doesn't mean that Pagure is actually up in there. Well, this git. Yep, that seems short. It is running on port 80. Okay. It's running on port 80. I mean, that's fine, but then here it was trying to connect on port 8080, no? Oh, 443. Okay. It's not running on HTTPS. It's just not. Okay, that's why it's failing. Okay, let's try that again. Consumer, blah 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 blah. Okay. Yes. It's not running on HTTPS. Let's try again. Let's create a ticket. Let's create a change. Aha! Yes! Yes! The email was sent. Yes! And now, yes! Okay! Alright, so we are like 1 hour and 15 minutes into the stream, and at last, I will be able to try and fix the issue. Ah. That was long. Okay, now I know that I'm getting messages when I do something for my user account. Okay. All right. So what we want to do is look for a disable message. So for example, can I disable my user from here? I don't think I can. Wait a minute. Thanks, folks. Wait a minute. So, question would be, how can I send the message that will trigger how do we disable users? I think the only way to disable users currently is by going to IPA itself. And IPA and disabling the user by ticking the box. I can show you what it looks like. That's very simple. Yeah, it's a self-signed certificate, I know. IPA is really cool. Okay, and I'm looking for William Young. I think that the way we do this is by disabling a user right here. Like going to our actions, disable. Okay, that means that we can't. Yep, it means that we can't expect a message coming in telling you that a user is disabled. Right? Because that's never going to happen, because IPA doesn't send Fedora messages. It's not connected that way. Okay, so we need to do it differently then. What we'll need to do, I think, is to check if a user is disabled before actually sending like generating the notification. Can we do that? Of course we can. Let's start the code in Visual Studio Code. Do you have a better idea? I mean, I would love to get the message telling me that the user has been disabled, and I could disable them in the database, and it will all be fine. But it's apparently not going to happen. So, okay. Okay, so what happens in our consumer? I'm pretty sure that you can't see anything right at the moment, no? Close the thing. Thank you. Something changed, right? That works. Yes. Hopefully that's more readable to you. Okay, so my consumer here, whenever, yeah, get out of the way, thank you very much. That is a bit annoying. Yeah, that's something that yeah, okay. I can remove my craft afterwards, or I can do it now, now that I know it's working. Goodbye. Okay, so here it checks if the message is tracked. All right, it checks if a message is deprecated. Okay, the rules here. Okay, I get the notification. Okay. For each rule that I get, I will have the rule handle the message, which produces notifications. Nice. Except, what information do I have in my rules? Okay. Easy. Let's check it out. It will be in core. No, database. Database model rule. A rule is a pretty simple object actually. It has very few information. It has a name, it can be disabled, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for user being disabled. And it has a reference to the user. Okay? And then it has functions like it's able to handle an incoming message. Okay? So before looking if a message, so it gets the tracking rule, calls the tracking rule dot matches, etc. Before doing that, what I would like to do is check whether the user is disabled or not, and if it is, then skip the rule. So I'm going to do something here, such as should I do it here or should I do it before that? No, I don't want to. Yeah. I will probably have to cache that. Never mind. Our queries to fastJSON are cached, so I suppose that's going to be in the cache anyway. Okay. So there, what I want to do is check user disabled. I will need to pass the DB obviously, and the rule. Not the rule, but the user. User, it would be rule.user. Okay? Not async. Okay, check user disabled will be a function that will tell me if a user is disabled or not. Actually, I would want to do something better, like right? If a user is disabled, then I'm just going to skip that rule. What I would like to do is, if I find a user that is disabled here, right? Yeah, okay, let me explain that. The rules cache here is actually the list of the rules that are enabled from a user that is enabled. So if I get a rule here, I should not have any user that is disabled in my database, in the FMN database. Um, if I'm arriving here, it means that I'm looking at a rule that has the user as enabled in the FMN database, and this function is going to check on fastJSON whether the user is disabled or not. If it is disabled, then it needs to update my local database, right? Because my local database is more or less basically a cache. Let's check if my user has the disabled status. It doesn't. Okay. All right, so I need to check whether my user is disabled, and if it's disabled, I'm going to disable the rule itself. So whenever a user is disabled, I disable all their rules. Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. Okay. So I could do that, or I could... Yeah. I will need to commit. Wait, do I have... I don't know if I can... See, I'm not sure. I think I have assumed up till now that the consumer only had a read-only access to the database. And I need to check that. Because I think I have made that optimization. Consumer... What database is it is it getting? It's okay. It's getting the database. It's getting its own manager. Configuring the cache. Get manager is the regular thing. Okay, maybe it just has the usual common database access. It doesn't have a... Yeah, okay. Maybe it's fine. Um, Look at the time. Yeah, we still have half an hour. That's cool. So a database. Yeah, I'll be able to get the manager. Okay, okay, okay. All right, let's not delve into that right now. Okay, so my consumer will update the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I did something about the isolation. Fine. I suppose that's fine. Okay, so if my user is disabled, I'm going to disable the rule and keep going to the next one. I will need to commit these changes. I do not want... I don't want to have long-running transactions on the consumer because the consumer will be running for a long time. It might be processing rules for a long time. So I don't want it to be holding transactions for too long. How do I make a transaction in FMN? I've already forgot that. Huh. Where am I going to make a transaction? Probably somewhere in the handlers. Uh, wait. Well, how do I make a transaction? I don't even remember that. Um, sorry. Right, I have my session. I just called commit. All good. That's all good. Thought it was harder, like I had to use a context manager, but maybe not. And so it had to be db.commit. Of course, that's clearly not going to be a synchronous operation. All right, so I need to implement my user disabled function now. It's probably going to be very simple, actually. I will need a reference to fastJSON. And fastJSON, I think I have it. I do that through the requester. The requester is a wrapper object that can that has attributes, well, properties for my caches. So I'm going to do that through the requester. Of course, I don't want. I'm going to make a function and check that it's actually working that way. So user user and db. Okay. So now I want to call. Right, I'm going to use my requester, which is I think a class, an instance attribute. Yes, serve.requester dot fastjson dot, and then do I have the function in fastjson in my fastjson backend? Maybe not. Let's check. Search user, interesting. Get user. Get user is interesting. Get user is probably what I want. And it's already cached, so all the better. All right, get user, and it gets a username. It takes a username as attribute. Very well, let's go. Is this going to work? Mm. Mm. Not current user, but yeah. That's the user in the database, so I need its name. Mm. Is this gonna work? Of course not. It's an asynchronous function, so I need to await it. Okay, so I know I have my fastJSON user. I can print it and see if that works. I suppose that will have a disabled key, but I don't think so. Actually, I think fastJSON only returns a user if it exists and it's enabled. It doesn't return it if it's disabled. So I'll have to catch an exception here. But it'll get the ID. User is not disabled, and it's all good. Let's see that. Let's see that if that works. I don't know why Ruff is unhappy about that, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go back to my terminal and restart it. Okay, let's log it. And do this change again. Yeah, we're being pretty hard on my small laptop. It's okay, things are happening. It's making the query. It's getting the projects for my user, which there isn't any, for which there isn't any. And that's pretty much all I know. Hmm. A bit underwhelming. Um, I know that this thing here handle it's oh wait, that's already a session. Okay, so it's already going to be committing. Okay, so I don't need that. Good. Um, I know that this thing here doesn't always print exceptions. Let's try. Let me try that. I don't need actually the E. Um, gonna add a message, log message right here. Because if I don't see anything and it's not logging the error, then can't tell. Blah 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 blah. Haha. Yep. Failing. Too many positional arguments. Oh yeah. Yeah, get user only accepts keywords. Sorry about that. Let's get back to it. Yeah, I saw that and I saw that and I told myself, you must really remember that it's only accepting arguments when you're going to write that. And of course, I entirely forgot. In Python, you can see that um, get user. This here means that afterwards it's only after that it's only accepting keywords arguments, and it's called username, by the way. Dodge that one. Okay. Do it again. So the message should have been emitted. Now the consumer is starting. It's going to get the message as soon as it can. So So, ah, no message. What's going on? The email was sent, so something happened. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Username, surname, username, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All very good. What happens now if I disable my user? Ah, but no, I have a small issue with this. How am I going to update my user information if I'm disabled? Let's see if that works first. Disable the user. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Done. change that again. And it fails because I'm not logged in. Yes. Okay. I didn't think about that. Or I thought about it, but way too late. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pretend that it happened. Okay. Here in the logs, I think I had somewhere the body of the message. Body equal, there was something like this. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I want to emit this message. Okay. That's not great. I mean, I could. Yeah. Let me think for a minute. I'll just re-emit this message. Yep, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just re-emit this message. And it's gonna be sufficient. Okay. Yep, let's go with that. There's gonna be a bit of fiddling around, but it's gonna work in the end. My message is, so there is an ID. There is a topic. I have to write that as JSON. I think the body is named body, but we'll soon know. I'm pretty sure the user is William Young as well. But I can check. And there, the fields is website URL. Okay, so in Fedora messaging, I have a way to emit a message using JSON, but I think it has to be on the same line with just all this formatting for all this formatting for nothing. Anyway, and I think I have to set the headers as well, like for example, I have to need Fedora. I think that's the header. Let me check it before I do this sort of mistake. It's in Fedora messaging. No. Huh. Right. So it's installed in. package is installed. Nice. It's in message. Okay, so there is a schema that is used to load messages. I can load the message from a file. Blah, 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 blah. Serialized message schema. There it is. I have topic, I have headers, topic is good, ID, body, Q is not important, it's not required, priority is not required as well. Headers, however, is important. It is going to look for, there it is. Okay, Fedora messaging schema. Because I need to set it to the right value. Headers is Fedora. And I think that's where we'll set the name of the schema. It could be base message if I wanted it to be just normal standard Fedora message, but I want to set the noggin schema. And the noggin schema is in noggin messages, and it's an entry point. That's the one, noggin user update. Okay, noggin user update.v1. Is this going to work? I don't know. Let us see. Does this work? I think that's for messaging publish, but yeah. Okay, and the file. Did it work? I don't know. But I will be surprised if it did. Let's check. Huh, it works. Okay, so I can now replay the message. That's cool. Okay, that's much better. All right, so what happens here is I'm getting but you see I still have the same problem. Yes. I still have the same problem. Yes, my problem is the following. I have disabled the user in IPA, but my query to fastJSON is still in the cache. So in my fastJSON, in my query in fastJSON, I am still seeing the user as enabled. You know, there is an old saying in the computer science world. I think it was Dijkstra, or was it Donald Knuth? I think it was Donald Knuth, who said that there are two complex problems in computer science. One is cache invalidation, and the other one is naming things. Naming things is actually pretty hard, but cache invalidation is also kind of hard. So here we have a cache invalidation problem because we don't get a notification that the user was disabled, and we don't want to query fastJSON all the time to see if a user is disabled. So what is left? I suppose that we could accept a time frame between the moment a user is disabled and the moment they stop getting notifications. And that time frame would be the duration of the fastJSON cache. And then we don't have a problem anymore because we just socially accepted that the problem was unsolvable. Well, it's not unsolvable. I mean, we could find a way to make IPA emit messages when there are changes, but that's a much bigger issue. Okay, let's just have a look at our cache then. Oh no. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know we have a way to look at the cache in FMN with a cache subcommand, but I don't know if we have a way to actually dump it entirely to look at the contents of the fastJSON cache, etc. We'll see. Yeah, we don't. Okay, what's the cache system that we use right here? Cache is... Huh, where's my cache? Um, where do I put my cache? Well, I can look at the defaults. That would be better than looking randomly. Mm. What's my cache default? And it is in memory. Nice. Okay, so I suppose that the cache for cache args model. Okay, Pygure and FastJSON are using cache args model right here. Okay. I don't know what the duration of the Pygure cache is, of the FastJSON cache is actually. Did we set a timeout? Good question. I suppose we could just clear the cache. But that's not very nice. I would much prefer setting the cache to something like a file-based cache. The cache system that we use is, the cache library that we use is cashews. Please don't crash. Cashews. I'm going to look at how you configure that. Okay. I will probably have to install dist cache, but that's fine. And that's the memory cache. I would much prefer have actually database cache. Okay, how do I set that up? To be root. So all of the configuration is accessible via via environment variables. And you can override all the values using environment variables. So right now I'm starting at settings cache. So it's going to be something like cache double underscore, and then I go to the next one, cache model. Cache model is right here. I am guessing it's going to be scoped args double underscore scope args and then fastJSON. And then I have again a model, and the TTL is going to be the value. So let's say 10 seconds. Yeah. I'm keeping a very small fastJSON cache. Let's restart. And now we can emit the message again. Here? No. Here? Yes. Are you ready? Go! What is going to happen now? Aha! That is exactly what we wanted. That's cool. That's very cool. Because here our fastJSON requests is giving us a 404. Yep, a 404, exactly. Okay, so we can go back to our code and track that and trap that. Well, let's so user disable. Okay, very good. What kind of error it is httpx.httpx status error. Wait, do I have httpx imported right here? I do not. What do I want to do if I get a 404 here? I might want to return none, right? I know I'm returning only a dict, but do I want to return none if the user is not found? That would probably be preferable because I don't want to, I don't want to be exposing all the HTTPX exceptions everywhere, right? Otherwise, if one day we switch to something else than HTTPX, then it's going to be a bit of pain moving. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Cache, yeah, okay. So, actually, I'm going to do this here. Hey, Senyak. So today, what we are doing. So Samik asks what we're doing today. Today we are working on FMN, and we want to disable a user's rule when the user is disabled in FMN. So because yeah, you disable a user, you don't want the user to keep receiving notifications. That's not really what you want. And we have a few issues. The first issue that we have is that when we disable a user, we do it in IPA, and IPA doesn't emit notifications. It doesn't emit messages on the bus. So we can't really rely on that to update our user base, to update our rules base. So we have to do something else. We have to check that user is disabled when we are processing the rules. So that's what we're doing right now. We are calling fastJSON. We are calling fastJSON to check if a user exists or not, and if they are telling us that if it's telling us that it doesn't exist, which means a nice 404 error. You know what? I'm going to try to do something smart with Visual Studio. Let's import it here, and let's let Visual Studio tell me what member here hold the status. I suppose that would be response status code. Yep. Otherwise, just raise. Okay. So my getUser function now returns dict or none, depending on if a user exists or not. So when I'm checking it here, I don't have to do the try catch here, I'll try except here. I am going to just look if return fastJSON user is not, well, I want to check if it's disabled. Let's check if it's none. Okay, so user disabled tells me if the user is disabled. Okay, that's good, but I want to do something more. If the user is disabled, I'm disabling the rule, and hopefully on the next run, it's going to have to committed and it won't show up anymore. If the user gets disabled and then re-enabled, we have decided that we don't want to re-enable their rule automatically. Let's see. Should it work? Or did we forget something? I think there's a good chance it might work. Let's send the message again and cross the fingers. I'm crossing the fingers on my wooden table, and hopefully that doubles the chance. Set. Set is not exactly what I expected. Wait, what is set? What am I printing something here? I might be logging something. But as you can see, it didn't generate a notification, right? Uh-huh. Is my rule disabled? I don't know. Let's look. It is disabled. It is disabled. The rule is disabled. Alright, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now I can be rather confident that when a user is disabled in IPA, I will check it, and after the expiration of the fastJSON cache, I will detect him as disabled and disable their rule. Well, all the rules that have been triggered, which is good enough. Well, that's nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, so I think we did the fix. Now, what we want to do is, of course, make a unit test. How are we going to do that? Well, let's go. First, we'll have to probably update the unit test for fastJSON because now we want it to return none if the user doesn't exist. So let's go do that first before we forget. Well, the tests are here. Okay, so the tests structure mirrors the directory structures. So if I am in FMN backends fastJSON, I will be here, test fastJSON. Okay. What happens if a user is disabled? Is it all I have? Yeah, that's all I have. Okay, I'm gonna create a new one. User group, no, no. Search user, search user, get user. Okay. Yeah, I think there is something smart that does all the. Yeah, something is generating test cases here. But I want to do something even simpler. Failure missing user. What's that? I'm just gonna run this test. Um, I usually do that. I usually do that in the terminal, so I'm gonna keep doing that in the terminal. Okay. What do we use to run the test? Poetry run pytest. I'm not going to add all the cover thingies because I don't care about that right now. KO mode auto tests backend test fastJSON. Let's do this. Let's see if it fails. It should be failing because I changed something rather significant in a function. Laptop is so slow. Right. Um, what's this? Not really understandable. Username exact blah 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 blah. That's weird. Um, I don't know why it's doing that actually. This text is a bit too complex for my taste, but. Hmm. Oh, that's invalidate on message. I don't care about that one. Uh, yeah. Okay, invalidate on message is not really the kind of test that I'm worried about because I'm not looking at cache invalidation at the moment. I am looking at this get user function. So yeah, let me just add a function. Just a simple one. Is this? Is there like there are some tests here? Test wrapper method. Hmm. It's doing something very smart with the tests. Okay, I'm going to do something kind of similar to that, except I want to test get user 44. Okay, expected API URL user boop, and I don't want to look at the groups, and I want to get a 404 response. Okay, get user and assert response is none. Okay, that's what I would like to okay, I've done that. It's not really my main focus, but it's done now. Okay, now the consumer. What do I want to test on the consumer? Not that, not tracked, call tracked. Checking that it's calling all the settings, call failure, tracked agent name, deprecated schema, consumer duplicate, messages. Okay, it doesn't have the test that I want to, but I think it's going to be kind of similar to this big one. So Yeah, that's a big one. I'm going to trim it a lot before I copy it. Okay. Okay. Test consumer. Um, okay. So I create my consumer. Okay. My track values is there is this package. Fine. Fine. I don't care really about the rest. I create this user. The user is not I create the rule that is not disabled. I could create tracking rules but do I really want to do that? I just want to check that the rule, yeah, I want to check that the rule is disabled and that no notifications had been generated. So I'll need a dummy setup. I add all that, and now, yeah, this is something that is going to link the pkg1 value here to my user. So I don't want to do this smart thing here. I just want the one that should generate notification. But I also want to mock something else. I want to mock fastJSON, get user. I want that to be an async mode that returns none. So now my user is going to be always, my user is considered to be absent all the time. Okay, do this. I want to make sure that I did not generate a notification. Okay. Yeah, I don't care about that. And I want also to make sure that my rule is disabled now. So I'm going to query for it. Um, oh, it's not DB, it's DB async session. No. Okay. Sounds nice. Let's try running the tests and hopefully nothing explodes too badly. I still wonder why this fails though. Um, does invalidate on message query use the get user function? Ah, yeah. No, it doesn't call get user. So I don't know why it fails. Um, kind of complex. Okay. Well, complex for me. Somebody wrote that, so. Okay, let's try that again. That's the fastJSON one. Yeah, I try to keep my unit tests simple because if I write unit tests that are too complex, and with PyTest it's easy to do that, you can do generation of tests and make them very like have lots of branches in there. If you make unit tests that are too complex, then at some point your unit tests will require their own unit tests, and you're not going to be able to get away with this. It's going to be nightmare. So I still have the same errors. So I did not have an error on the function that I've added, which is, I suppose, good news. Um, let's try just in isolation. That was called getUser404. Whenever you want, my computer. Yep, that works. Okay. I am going to turn off some of the VMs that I've been using because it's really taking a toll on my machine. Um, okay, and so that function works. Now let's try the consumer. Still slow to start. The load is probably pretty high on that machine. Yep, it is. Huh. Anyway, um, user disabled is wrong. Okay, that failed. Yeah, the rest is failing probably because it wasn't. Uh, yeah, that's fine. I'll look into that. Assert false is true. Haha, that is not good. So it's not finding my rule as disabled. So that maybe it may be because I may need to query it again from the database and not just do a refresh. Not sure the refresh works well with async. Let's try that. I did a refresh here, but maybe that's not the best idea. Let's just get it from I guess from the database. That should be sufficient. I forgot how to do that in here. Okay. Execute, and the query will be select model. Do I have my models here? I think so. Wait. Do I have my models here? Yes, they are here. Model.rule. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're right here. Okay. Um, wait, this. I think that's how you do it, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. That's really not useful for me. Oh no, that's not the one. Um, Test consumer user disabled. Oh yeah, this corner of the screen is probably where you can't see anything. Let's see if I can move that head to a more interesting place. Um, Hopefully that works, but I'm not sure. Anyway, got unexpected keyword arguments. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, we're getting there. Of course, that's not how you do things. My tea's gone cold. I wonder why. Wait, what? That'll be because rule is not what I think it is. Oh, that's gonna be scalar. Scalar 1. Try again. Ha! 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 Alright. Okay, so I just get my rule from the database again, and it is disabled. Fine. So I have checked that if the user is absent, then I don't send any message, and I disable my rule. Alright, that's pretty good. Now I guess we've broken a lot of other things in there. Let me check how many things we have broken. So the test will need to be adjusted, and I would also have to create um, a news fragment for the changelog, so that users may be warned of the changes that we have put with this pull request. I will try to wrap that up in the next 5 minutes, so I'm going to start by writing this news fragment first. And if I can fix all the bugs that I have created, I will, but if I can do that in 5 minutes, then I will leave it as an exercise for the reader. Thanks, Lenka. Thanks for coming by. And you've seen most of it. The rest is going to be less interesting. Yeah, see version. That's really not really interesting. I suppose that the error in the consumer is because I am making one more call now that I didn't expect before, so I need to mark that. call tract. Let's see what call tract says. So yeah, this here should return. I should here in call tract. I should just make sure that I do not return none. Return value. It can be anything, but none. So maybe a dictionary? Oh, good. That should fix it. And in duplicate, it's probably the exact same thing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, handle. I need to do that before. Because I'll be handling the message, so. Okay, so that should fit those two errors. This is, let's say, bogus, more or less, for lack of a better word. It's just that I need to recreate my environment, like I need to recreate the text environment. And those here, I am not sure. Test invalidate on message. Okay. Those are the ones that I'm not so sure about. Oh! I'm still printing something. Huh, let's see if that could be the reason. Because I might have added some prints that I forgot to take out. Oh yeah, log warning represent message body. Okay, that's one. That's a warning in fast.json. Let's remove that, okay? And see if everything falls into place. That will be very cool. This one here. There's this one as well, but yeah, there's this one. Oh, that might be the one. Okay, so that might be why. Okay, in fast.json, actually, the message that is emitted by noggin doesn't look like but I'm still very surprised. I mean, it's weird that it's all hidden behind the MSG message. Let's have a look at the code in noggin, see if that's actually the case. I know it's a bit of a detour, but I would like to make sure of that. Noggin messages. User update. What is the schema? Okay. Okay, the schema has MSG value. That's weird. That's really weird, but that's how it is. And so I should not expect the message to be flat in. It should expect the message to be inside an MSG key. Is that the issue that we're having right here? Body user. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, message. Yep, that's wrong. Okay. Test invalidate on message. Okay. Fast and topic. Okay, that's all wrong. Okay, that's where the problem lies. Wrap that into an MSG message. Good. that should be much better. And now let us try again. No? Here? Yes. Let's try that again. Haha! Okay, I think we're almost good for the tests. I'm going to run them. Actually, I should check. Yeah, I should actually check the coverage now that I'm running all the tests. And in the meantime, I'm going to create a news fragment. So news fragments, they go into the news directory, and they are basically items that will be put and collected and put into the changelog. Oh, it's called changelog.d here. Cool. A changelog fragment then. They have a special name, so they are named after the issue that we are taking them from. So it's 826. Where is 826? Right here. Okay. So we need to call it. We need to create a new file. Call it 826.bug. Is it bug or is it fix? I can't remember. I know it should be in the PyProject.tuml. We haven't been very consistent with this in the different packages that we are removed, deprecated, added, changed, fixed, called fixed. Okay, so it's not bug, it's fixed. And I will call it I'm trying to say that the user, well, it's going to wait for the fastJSON cache to be expired before it happens. This will happen only after the. Okay, that sounds fair. Disable the user's rule when the user is rules when the user is disabled will happen only after the fastJSON cache expires, so there will be a delay. Disabled rules will not be available if the user is available. Okay, good. What is my unit test looking like? Oh, okay, we're missing one line, line 75, so we're going to create a new unit test for this one. What's line 75? Ah, yep. I'm catching this 404 error, but I'm not catching any other error. So, where am I? Yep, here. Almost there. Get user. Get user failure. The response is now 500. And it should actually error out, but I do not know. Um, all right. I think that should be sufficient. I mean, I don't need to check all of this. Yep. I think this should be sufficient. I don't really need the root. I mean, oh yeah, I mean, it's still a precaution to make sure that we've actually called the root. Okay. Okay. Let us try. Test get user. Let's make sure that it works first. Let's make sure that it actually works, and then we can run all the tests and make sure we have 100% coverage. So close! We're getting very close. Works. Run all the things. I could actually run it with Tux, because Tux is more than capable of doing that. And I'm going to make sure that the lint is fine afterwards. Okay, now I'm going to start preparing my commits. So, what did I change? There is this changelog file that I want to get in. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to create a new branch. Let's create a new branch. My bug is 826, so create a new branch. All right, I have a new branch. I add this. I want to. What are the changes that I've made in here? Yep, I have to do that to catch it. All right, change signature. This is actually unrelated, so I'm not going to add that. I'm going to just add this one. Stage the selected changes. This is really unrelated, and I'm going to make a separate commit for that. Anything else? Yep, I need to add this one because that's definitely something that I need. You know what? I'm going to keep that on because otherwise I never get the error in the handling of message, and that's not good. This, however, is something that I can remove. Where is my consumer? Oh yeah. No. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Save it. What are my changes? I'm going to keep that, but that's a separate issue, so it's going to be a different commit. That is exactly what I want. Okay. Okay, what else do I have? And I need this function, of course. Yeah, that seems fair. Actually, I don't need the DB. See? I do not need it. Let's remove that. I am not doing the DB change because I'm doing that, I'm doing it in here. So I don't need the DB. And, yep, see, it's grayed out. Don't need it. Okay. And I would like to make it clear that this user thing is a user from the database. Model.user. Do I have the model? Are they here? No. User. I hope I don't have another user here. All right, so I'm using a type hint to make it clear that the user here is supposed to be a database user. It's not anything else. All right, good. Save it. Add the changes. Well, check the changes first. Yeah, don't add everything. This is not something that I want to add. This here is what I just did. I'm going to add it. I'm going to stage it. Good. Whoa. Right. This change is, yep, those two changes are something that I want, are things that I want in my commit. Okay. Pretty good. What about this one? Test fast JSON. That's my two tests. One for the 404 and one for the 500. That is related to what I'm doing right now. I'm staging it. Those, however, are the changes about the structure of the message, of the incoming message from Noggin. So I'm not going to stage those. It's going to be a different commit. This one. Yep, that's something that I need. I need to mock something else for it to work. Fine. That's my new test. Quite long, but I don't think I could strip more. I don't think I could remove stuff from there without harming it. Good. And I need that one too. I need that one too. Okay, I think we have our commit here. That's good for this one. Okay, check that, check that. This is something unrelated. Okay, let's do it. You know, I can just use this file. Disable your users. Disable users when user is disabled. There it is. And fixes 8 to 6. Are we good? I think we are. I'm gonna click commit. It's going to run git and it's going to run pre-commit in git because we have pre-commit in there. And it worked! Alright, so I have this and I have something else. I have two other things that I want to add. In the consumer, I want to catch the exception rate. Oh, first let me go back to the tests, see if my tests are good. Tests failed. Oh no, what happened? Huh. That's not good. Why are there so few? Oh wait, I've changed this file. Yeah, I've changed this file while running the test. I'm not sure that's actually very conclusive. But in the meantime, I've seen that there's something that they don't like here. What about that? And it says that it's the license is here and here at the same time, and they don't like it. That correct? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's an easy fix. I can just remove that from here. Okay. Fine. Let's start the tests again. Now I shouldn't change those files because the tests are running. Okay. Good. What else is there to do? I suppose I could push the change. Oh yeah, of course. My other fixes. So my consumer in my I'm surprised that this doesn't cause a lack of coverage. Maybe it does. I'll see. I'm going to add this. Yep. All right. Easy one. The other one here. I think it must have never worked then. That's weird. Anyway, just the expected body of noggin messages. Okay, this should be good to go. And now we can wait for our tests to finish running. While drinking some tea. You're still there? Remember, comments and questions and anything is very welcome. Hey, somebody's still there. All right, we have 100% coverage. That's very cool. Hey, I think we're ready to send our pull requests. So as I said before, I have an alias to send the pull requests. Hey, so you might say, hey, I'm not technical, but I'm trying to grow my brain by hearing you in the background. Yeah, that could work. I mean, you become familiar with words, and even if you don't get the definitions for them, or like you don't get the proper training for them, I'm sure the next time you hear them, you'll be more familiar and you'll be like less scared of them, and maybe more willing to look for yourself what they mean. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me. It's all good. I'm happy to explain things. I have I have I have the strong belief that you can always explain something to someone. You just need to find the right words that match what they know at the moment. So you can always everything is always explainable, even though the explanation might be simpler than the reality at the beginning. But it's always explainable. All right, so I have an alias in Git that when I git puf, it's for push setup stream fork. So as if I was running git push git push -u because that's setup stream fork, because my fork in the in GitHub is called fork as the remote in Git. That is my fork. So I just do git puf and does git push -u fork. And GitHub is nice enough to give me the URL that I just have to click. So let's just use the first commit for an example. The rest is really not related to this commit. So I'm going to do something different actually. I'm going to go back to my develop branch, and I'm going to use those other commits that are unrelated in the main branch. Okay, I'm going to do different pull requests. Fix, what was the name? 826. So I want this commit in my new branch. Wait, what? Oh. Let's remove that for now. Let's cherry pick this commit. Wait, what? What the hell? Nah. Oh. Um. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. My branch is log exe. It should be based on the develop branch, not the other branch where everything is already there. So I'm getting this commit. Display exceptions when the consumer fails handling a message. Nice. And I'm going to make a pull request for that one. Good. And I want to go back to develop. What was the other one that was... Yeah. That's quite a mouthful, but you know. And I want this one. Let's create a pull request for that one. And now I'm going to go back to my branch, and I'm going to remove these two other commits that are unrelated. And they have their own pull request now. So I'm using gitrebase.i, which means interactive. And I will remove those two commits. So now my branch only contains one commit. I'm going to update the branch. And in here, if I update this page, yep, it only shows one commit, so that's good. And I'm going to create this pull request. Done. Now we just have to wait for the tests to pass, and if all goes well, we'll just have to wait for somebody to review. This computer is so slow sometimes. All right. So one problem, 3 pull requests. It's when you go fix something, you usually find other things that are wrong or have a problem, and it's always worthwhile to fix them when you're doing it instead of keeping that at the back of your head and forgetting all about it later. I don't know why it's not submitting. What's going on here? With pull request created. But I try not to litter my existing pull requests. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, I try not to. Why is there is something wrong with this GitHub UI at the moment? I suppose that's because my computer is. Okay. No, but really, kind of annoying. Yeah, it's always worthwhile to fix them, and even if you need to move the commits later to a different place or to a different branch to make their own pull requests, it's always better. Okay, I think we have everything. Took us 1 hour more than I thought. I had allotted 2 hours for the stream, and we are 3 hours in. But we fixed it, which is still pretty good. When you come into a bug, you never really know exactly how long it's gonna take. And my estimation of it being an easy fix was purely a matter of 10 seconds thinking about it. So obviously wrong. Anyway, I made the mistakes of labeling it as easy fix, but at least I own that mistake by fixing it myself. I think that's all. I'm not going to wait for the tests to pass because it might take a bit of time. Oh, one is already almost ready. Well, that's the front test test. The front end is always faster. And yeah, that's all for us. So thanks for passing by, and thanks for being there and following me while I stumble my way across the applications. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week, because I'm going to try to do that every week. Hopefully next time it's going to be a simpler bug. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Cheers.